Hey guys, I'm going to be working on part number 12 of the Wizard of War. The first thing I want to do is get the coin door lights done, which is real easy. They're actually, it's a separate plug here. So this plug, I need to put a plug in. See if I forgot to plug my headlamp in, and I don't know if it's going to stay working or not. But so I just need to put this Molex end onto here so that we can plug it into this, to that one there. And then I need to take this one screw off the back of the coin door. Actually, I could probably just add another nut. I'll see if I have another nut. We'll just add another nut onto there, and that'll ground the coin door to the rest of the game. I think I might have a nut we can just put on there. If I don't have one in here, I'm sure I have one somewhere. Because this will give it a better ground. It'll be wedged between two nuts rather than having it against the wood on the one side. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go find one. Double check. Alright, so let me go find one of them, and then we gotta turn the game on because I don't know which way the wires go. I don't know if it matters. I'm gonna say the yellow with the red stripe probably goes to the red. You know what? I don't know if I can look that up or not. I don't know if this book will tell me because I don't know. Look in here. I know it's around here somewhere. I had it earlier. Coin meter, fuse, coin door assembly lights. Okay. Looks like the white with the blue stripe is fused. So we're going to put that one onto the red wire. And we'll use that. I don't know that it really matters. But the red wire goes to, actually, yeah, it does matter. The red wire goes to the side. Okay, so we're going to use, the black wire is going to go to the white and blue because the black wire is going to the center of the post of the bulb underneath. So that's going to be positive. The red wire is going to the side of the bulb, which is the negative. It's grounding the housing. So that's the order it's going to go in. So let me stick this on real quick. So basically, see which direction this goes. So then my black wire needs to go on this side. So I'll put our black wire in here and the red wire on here. Technically, that should be correct when it's plugged in. But let me go grab a nut so we can ground that. Okay, I got a nut to put on the back of this so that we can get this ground wire hooked up. Then we'll turn it on and make sure the coin door light works. Then I need to look at that volume pot to see if I have another one or something, because I don't know what else to do but to try another volume pot, which is soldered to the board. and I don't know that I have one. Gotta look at it and see what kind it is. Okay, so now I should be able to turn this on and we'll see if these light bulbs come on. Yep. Okay, that's done. Now I need to figure out this volume pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this board. I unplugged the soundboard. I'm going to unscrew it from the cabinet, pull it out. Here's the soundboard. So the Wizard voice is working and the right player sounds is working. The left player sounds, this is the one that's not working, which is in the middle. Now this is don't know what size pot that is. On the top it says 200 113, but I don't really know what that means. Before I go any farther, I'm going to go in the back and look at the speaker wires to make sure that they are in fact hooked up. Also checking for cold solder joints and stuff like that. Now there's 3 transistors here on the back. It could very well be one of these. It's probably what the problem is. Emitter, collector, base, they're all labeled. I don't know which one does what, but we could test. I wonder if we can test these while they're hooked up to the board or not. We could try. I don't know whether or not they will test properly or not. Let me look at the speakers back here. Plugged in. So I don't think it's a speaker issue. Unless the speaker is wrong. Moving. I don't think it's a speaker issue. I think it's something else. We could try to test these with the multimeter, but I don't know that they will test if they're soldered onto the board or not. But we can give it a shot. I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of play with it because I'm not sure which lead goes on which one. So if I put the black one on the collector, okay, so if I put the black one on the collector and the red one on the emitter, while it's soldered on, we come up with 1.5. Let's try the same thing, black on the collector, B on the base, or red on the base. We come up with 5.71. Just trying to remember how to test these. Do I need to put the black on the base? I might have to look this up. Let's try this one over here. Let's do this. let's put the black on the collector again. Let's check the emitter side. It says 1.5. Let's leave the black on the collector. Let's try the base. Comes up with 5.6, 5.7, or 0.57. So let's try that exact same method on this one. See what numbers we get. 1.5, 1.6. Okay, that's reading the same. Now let's try, let's put the black on the emitter. See what happens if I put the red on the collector. 1.3, should be the same thing. Let's try the black on the base. And I might not be doing this right. I mean, I have to go and look it up. I don't remember. I haven't done this in a long time. But I don't know if this is going to even be the problem. My readings are the same on both of those two. If anything, it could be this pot, and I don't know that I'm going to have one. I doubt I'm going to have one. Probably going to have to order it once I figure out what size it is. Just checking for loose solder joints. Somebody's replaced this resistor right here. Almost look like maybe it doesn't have a good connection. There's something that was here, it looks like, that's missing from here to here. Definitely something missing there. Why, I don't know. I wish I had another one of these, but I don't. Gorf uses a different style. Might have the same pot though. I hate to go changing a pot if that's not the problem. I'd like to know what this is. I'm gonna go look in the book and see if I can't figure out what's clipped off right here and if that could be the cause of the problem. Okay, I was looking at my schematic here and stuff, and this that's clipped off here, if that was connected right there, it would tie pin 2 and 3 together. It would tie these two pins together, okay? It's cut, so these two pins are individual. Because if you look through the circuit board, you can actually see the trace. One trace goes to 3, the other trace goes to 2. So I think that's cut on purpose, because when I look at the book here, it shows pin 2 and 3 right here. They're two different color wires, and they're going into the logic board. So I'm going to say that those are supposed to be separate, because at no point in these two pins do they cross. It's not showing at any point that they're supposed to be tied together. So I am not going to mess with that, because I do not want to screw something else up. So I'm going to say that that is supposed to be like that. I'm not sure what's wrong with it yet. We could plug it back in and just screw with it and see. Maybe maybe one of the wires wasn't pushed in all the way. It could be something stupid like that. So I'm gonna plug this back in and we'll turn the game back on. Okay, I just turned it back on. I checked the connections, make sure everything was plugged in correctly. So basically we're not getting like the shooting sound and stuff like that. So let me coin it up.
So you try to store in the world of war. Na 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 na. Violins are very, very hungry.
Yeah,
Your war has eaten and you
no
are
shooting noise.
Na 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 na.
Wait, maybe a little bit. No, we're not getting any shooting noise. I'm trying to stay out of their way so I can.
Star Wars show after 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm at a loss on that one. And there must be a sound for when you die too, I'd imagine. Let me turn the right side down. So now the right side's off. So the only thing that's currently on is the wizard's voice.
Gale Warlock for double score. If you get too powerful, I'll take care of you myself. Ta 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 ta.
Alright, try to figure out something here. Okay, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get this board off of this metal plate and look for any cold solder joints on the header pins, especially those two. I'm not convinced that the volume pot is bad. I think it's something else. So what I have to do is take these nuts off of here, these plastic nuts and bolts. And we are going to carefully pop this off, flip it over, and check for any bad solder joints that we could see. Start there first. This amp board I know nothing about. I bought it. I don't remember if I got it off of eBay or if I got it from I think I got it from Quarter Arcade as untested. So at the time it was the only one I could find. These stupid plastic pins can be a pain in the butt. Okay. Looks like they've been reflowed already. Let's put our multimeter on a continuity test. Let's start running traces. This first pin here goes down to here. It's connected. Even though that's connected, it doesn't mean it's still good, I guess. Looks like it's alright though. So let's go to the third pin. They all test fine. Somebody's put new caps on it. So this is the one in question here, this middle one. Trying to follow traces. So we have traces coming off the side of this pot going into the base of this one. We have this left one going into the collector, and then we have a right one here which must go underneath here, jumps over to here, which is underneath here. Let me see if that connects over to here. Yes. So everything's making connection. Doesn't mean the inside of the pot's not broken. I mean, I can order more, but I don't know if that's going to be the problem. Looks like this pot goes to here, goes over to, that trace goes to this one here, which means that this middle one comes out of here, goes through this resistor, goes this way over to this one. See, this is a 5-pin. These tip 31s, these are both the same. This one's different, but something's telling me this one probably runs all three, I would think. I've had these go bad on Asteroids Deluxe before for sound. Just looking for any bit of solder joint that doesn't look good or cracked or something that's moving around, or, but I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. Everything looks good. And everything seems to be making connection. Let me do some more research. Okay, I popped the two transistors off of the sound board, circuit board here. Now, I'm going to show you how to test these. When they're in here, this side's emitter, this side is base, center's collector. So the left side is base. We're going to put our red lead on the base. I believe it's the red lead. Okay, so the red lead's on the base, which is on the left here. We're going to hold that one there. We're going to hit our collector in the middle, 0.561. Now we're going to go to the emitter, 0.574. Let's check this other one. We're going to do the exact same test. Okay, these are good. So it's not that. I checked these caps. It's not the caps. I'm running out of options on this board as far as what could be wrong here. The volume pot, I'm gonna have to research on how to test those. I don't know how to test volume pots. So I guess that will be my next step. I'll put these back in and then I will research on how to test these volume pots. I know you can do it with a multimeter, I just do not know how. Okay, I had checked the transistors, those all checked out. I showed those to you guys. I've checked everything else, seems to be okay. I even checked this volume pot, and I'll show you how I checked the volume pot. These prongs on the side, we're gonna call those ground. I don't know if that's exactly what they are, but if you put your ground lead on that, and then you take your red to one of the other prongs, try to hold this with one hand. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the meter or not. I'll try to set it on my arm. Okay, see how it says 126? If I turn the dial, it goes down to 0. I turn it up all the way, 183. So let's try the other side of the potentiometer. And it moves as well. So I do not think that that is the problem. So the only thing I can think of that is the problem from reading is on the board set. There's 2 custom chips for the sound, X2 and X3. So what we're gonna have to do is slide that out, take the board out. I don't know which board it is. I'm gonna have to probably pull out a couple of them and look at them and swap the 2 chips. It says if you swap the 2 chips and the sound works that you're missing, then you have a bad chip, and those are custom chips that you can only get original ones to replace them. I do have that Gorf out in the shop, which I believe are the same chip. So let's slide this door out and let's figure out which board I need to swap those chips on, because I am not sure. I didn't really look that far into it. I figured I could figure it out. I've got a lot of mess to clean up here, stuff everywhere. But let's slide this tray out. I didn't want to have to be dealing with this, but you know, what are you gonna do? I don't know if the sound chip is on the board that has the plugs or not, but we're gonna pop this one out behind it just to see. Hopefully this comes out far enough. What's it hanging up on here? A couple wires are a little tight. Hopefully I can get that around. Might just barely be able to squeeze it out. Yeah, when I looked it up, it said X2 and X3, and I don't believe this is the correct board. So let's slide this one back in. We're only doing one at a time. We're gonna try the one that has the plugs on it, because I think that's probably the board. Now you gotta make sure that the seat's back into that bottom card. I know that it could be sometimes a bit of a pain to get it to go back in there. Great. Not wanting the seat back in there. I'll mess with that in a minute. Pop this one out. I think these are them here. X3 and X2. Those are the 2 that we need to change. But first, I gotta get this other one to clip back in. What is going on here? that hard. There we go. It was a little bit of an angle. So that's back in. So now, let's switch these two and see if we get any difference on the sound if the shooting comes, but then we lose some of the other sound. So I'm just going to carefully lift up on both sides, ever so carefully. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. Trying to stay in the camera. Now I just have to remember that these are backwards, which won't be a big deal. Just got to be very gentle that you don't scratch the board underneath it, and you don't want to bend a bunch of chips. So I'd rather just take my time rather than trying to just pull it out all quick and everything. Now I bought this board, it's supposed to be completely working. So if it still does the same thing, then it's something on my end in the cabinet. If the shooting sounds work, I have a bad chip. Which in case means I don't know if it's chip 2 or 3. Well, yeah, I should know. Looks like it's back in there. Doesn't look like any of the pins are bent. So fingers crossed. In a way, I kind of want it to not be the chip because I don't know how hard those chips are getting to buy. And like I said, I have that Gorf out there, which I believe are the same 2 chips. Okay, that's back in. So now we need to plug this back in very carefully. This is another pain in the butt, plugging this thing in. It's one. This one plugged in. Okay, so now we are going to power it on and see if we have the shooting sound or not, or if something else happens. I don't know. Some people said if the chip is bad, it might not even work. I don't know. Oh, that interlock switch down here. Forgot about that. Let's see what we get here. Well, not hearing any talking, which to me means that has a bad. Now the left speaker's working. So you know what that means. I have a bad chip. That's the noise I've been missing. So let me coin up. There's no coin up noise. There is. Let me turn the volume down. Let me just see if the shooting works. There's the shooting. So now I gotta go in the shop and steal one out of that Gorf board. That's loud. See if it still works. Okay. So now I need to go in the shop and steal one from the Gorf board and pray that it works. That sucks. Like I said, I bought this working. The problem is I know the guy and he's a good dude and everything. I bought it a while ago. This board's been sitting around for like probably a year and a half because I just didn't have the time to get to it. So, you know, it's not his fault. You know, it could have worked when it left there. Shipping, it could have rattled. I don't know. You know, so I'm not going to blame it on him. It just is what it is. You know, shit happens. Pardon my language, but I'm glad that I figured out the problem. Now, I just hope that I can have a chip to get this working. Downfall is now I'm gonna have a Gorf board missing one of these chips, which means I gotta find one, which means I need to find another one of these boards, a used board, and hope that one or two of these chips are good on a used board that I buy, because you don't know. Okay, so now that I switched this one for this one, now we're getting sound. That means that this is the good one, I think. I'm kind of confused. I don't know if, I'm gonna have to look it up, if X3 or X2 does the shooting sound. One of these two does the shooting sound. But I'm gonna run out in the shop and get this part number here, which is 0066-117XX. So long as the Gorf has the same ones, which from what I read, I believe that is the case. So we will swap out the bad chip, but I don't know which one it is, so I'm gonna have to go and look. Now I noticed that this chip right here has some rust on it, on the prongs. Could it just be not making a good connection? Could it just be rust that's causing this issue? You know, I'm gonna say X3 is probably the good chip that's currently in there. I wonder if it's this one, X2. But I'm guessing right now until I read. I don't take anything I say as good information because I truly do not know. There's a little rust on the top, but you can tell that the pins were cleaned. And like I said, this could have left his shop working. You know what I mean? I'm not blaming it on him. I highly doubt he would send something out that didn't work. Just sometimes it just happens, and I know that these are finicky from what I've read. So I'm just gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna go out back and grab one, and I'll be back. And we will figure this out. I'll look it up too while I'm getting that chip. Okay, I just went out there and grabbed the whole board out of the stack. On the Gorf one, this board was in the first spot. Whether that matters or not, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a difference or not, because I think you can interswap some of these. The chip number's a little different though. And I looked it up and it says that if you swap them and the other sound works, then one of the two are bad, but it doesn't tell you which one does which. So I guess, see, this one in the Gorf board starts with the same number, 0066, but on this one it's 707BX, and this one is 117XX. I'm gonna try it. I mean, see what happens. I don't think it'll hurt anything. Worst case scenario, it just won't work, I guess. So let's take this one out. And when I pulled this board out, right here, this capacitor is blown. There's a big burn on it, and it's blistered up. So I'm gonna see if I can order these so I can replace that. And then I ordered rebuild kits for the power supply. I want to rebuild the power supply in that and see if this board set actually works or not. Now, if I have to steal one of these chips because it works in here, we'll be without sound if that's the case. But it would be nice to see if I can get these to work on my own rather than sending it out and it be something stupid like the power supply and this capacitor or something, you know. So I'll definitely look and see if I can't find these to order them. They're almost like the ones that were in the Journey game on the soundboard. So I'll have to look, but it definitely has a value on it. It's 15 UF, 20 volt, and then it says 20%. So I don't know what the 20% means. Well, let me see here. If this one says 20%. Some of them say 20%, some don't. This one does not say 20%. The one that's blown is a T310, and it just says 15 UF, 20 volt. So I'm gonna try to find that and replace it and rebuild the power supply. I bought 2 rebuild kits because I have 3 full power supplies. I'm gonna see if I can't get an original power supply to work. And then if I get an original power supply to work, I have another, I have 3 total. So I could put one in here, but I'll probably just leave the switcher. and I do have a switcher kit for Gorf that maybe I should just put that in there. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. But since I already have this one lifted up, let's just try that one first. Since this one's already lifted up, I don't know if that one's good or bad. Maybe I'll get lucky and it's good. Goes this direction. Let me double check. Don't want to go putting the chip in backwards. Yep. These other ones have a bigger looking notch, and this is a smaller notch, and this one is going that direction. When you do stuff like this, just do one at a time. Take your time. Don't get them confused or put in backwards, because then you're really going to screw something up. Fingers crossed it works. Usually I'm not that lucky, so if it doesn't work, so if this one I just put in doesn't work, then we will try this over here and maybe put this one over there. It might take me 2-3 times to figure out which one's bad. I'm sure there's some way to measure this or do it. I don't know how to do it. Like I said, I'm not real good at circuit board repair or anything like that. That's not my claim to fame. Tell you what though, this card rack system kind of sucks. Gotta get it in the right spot. Last time it dropped right in. Let me make sure I'm putting it in the right way. Pretty confident I am. Yes, I am. There we go. Just takes that little bit of a finesse when it drops in. Okay. Nothing is working. So we are getting nothing working. So that means I'm going to take that as either the chip doesn't work because it's the wrong one, or that was the bad chip, or wait, that was the good chip. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. So let's take that chip out. These might not be compatible. I read that they were, but I could very well be wrong. So we're getting nothing. So let's put this one back in here, which is kind of strange to me, but I don't think the chip's right then. Wonder if the guy I bought this from, if I can buy a chip from him. I'll have to message him. But let's try this on this side and see if anything happens. Maybe these are custom programmed per game. I don't know. I thought they weren't, but oh, missed it. Didn't slide it in the right groove. hopefully if that's not the right chip, hopefully I didn't damage anything else.
Time dot spite. Ta 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 ta.
Okay, so we have talking.
After my pets were getting hungry. Ta 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 ta.
Actually, I think we got it.
You can't beat the rest, and you will never get the best. Ta 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 ta.
We got it. That means that other chip is bad. So basically, this game will run on one bad chip. It'll just be missing sounds.
Than your weapons, warrior.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't know for sure. Now I still got to adjust these joysticks. They're working a little better, but they need adjustment. And I don't really understand the two spots, the two sets of leaves. It's like it's not doing anything different. Maybe because of these clean and adjusted. Okay.
More acid than you are in love. Ta 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 ta.
Tomorrow, the high score saver kit will be here. So, on this video, I think what we're going to do is try to adjust these leaf switches. I'm going to turn this off. It's too loud right now. So I think on this video, we're going to try to adjust these leaf switches and get those working. And then I'm not going to do anything else. We'll get that high score saver kit installed tomorrow in the game. And then we can just wrap it up. So now I think I'm going to message the guy and see if maybe he'll sell me one of these chips, you know, that I can put back in the Gorf board. Because clearly they're the same. Even though they have a different part number, they're the same. If he's not willing to sell one, then I'll have to source one of these boards and hope that one of the two chips in it work. So, okay, let me, I'm excited that at least works, because now I can get this project done. And then once this project's done tomorrow, I want to get back on Popeye and get this together. And then I got all the parts, and I have, my basement's a mess right now. I got Neo Geo sitting here. I want to get this together, you know, because I want to get these three together, because I'm going to be bringing down that Sinistar and the Satan's Hollow, because I don't want to leave those out there very long. So let me set up. Let's see about adjusting these leaf switches and filing them and cleaning them up a little bit. Okay, I got this control panel up here. These contacts, some of them are pretty dirty looking. Some of them are close to each other. Some of them are farther apart. I don't know if probably need a little bit more of a gap between them so that it makes a difference. But I have this little file here. And what I do is I take the two leaf switches, which is going to be really hard for you guys to see in the video here. But I just take I kind of hold them together a little bit. I just kind of run this back and forth a little bit. I don't go crazy with it, just to clean up the contacts. What works really good is actually those cardboard nail files that your wives or girlfriends use. They're cheap, they're like $1 or $2 at the dollar store. Those work actually, I think, better than this thing. But I don't have one right now. I don't know where, I had one, I don't know where I put it. So for instance, this leaf switch here, which you can't really see, but on this one, this contact's really close and this one's got a space. I think I need to bend this farther away. By bending this farther away, it'll take longer for the joystick to hit that second point. See, right now it looks like they're simultaneously hitting at the same time. And I don't think we want that. I think we want this second one a little farther apart so that it hits that one, then you go a little farther with the joystick and it hits the second one. I could be wrong, but I think that's how these work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and file all these points lightly to get all the black soot and stuff off of them that have been on there for a long time. So I'm gonna file all these, and I'm gonna try to space these equally the same from the first set to the second set. And then we'll put it back in the cabinet and see if that makes any difference. If not, does it mean I have these wires backwards? Maybe. You know, I went off of a picture from Arcade Jason. He had took me a picture of his control panel underneath, and I believe I put these in the right order from what the picture showed, but maybe I'm wrong, you know. Actually, no, see, I put the ground in the middle, which should be correct because the ground should be in the middle. Maybe the blue and red wires backwards, so maybe these two are backwards. I'm gonna look at the pictures again and then clean up these points and stuff and adjust them. If I have to swap those, I'll let you know. Okay, I've got them all adjusted and cleaned. So let's go back in here. Let me bring the control panel in here. We'll plug it back in and we will see what the changes are. Some of those leaf switches were definitely not in the right spot, especially on the player 1 joystick. It was especially off on that one. So hopefully that'll make a difference. Now we gotta plug this in. And we'll finish up these wires, clean them up and everything tomorrow after the high score saver goes in. So let's power this back on, turn off my headlamp, and we are going to see if these cleaning and adjustment made a difference or not. Make sure we get some noise here. Not hearing anything yet. There we go. Oh, you gotta put credit in there.
After my network getting tighter, I love the for my treasure chest, my
Way better.
Iron warrior.
I still don't know. It seems like he walks faster and slower now. Sorry, dude. But it's working all directions. So, got a nice smooth movement.
My magic is stronger than your weapons, warrior.
We'll have to try player 2 here next. Can I add a player 2 credit?
Star Wars and Star Wars will do you in.
I'll have to let it die. Something here.
I'm
just gonna turn it off because I want to try the player 2 joystick. Wait a minute. I don't like turning them off and right back on. Okay. Let's try the player 2 joystick. Put a 2-player game on.
For you time to score in the world of war. Ha 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 ha. For you time to score in the world of war. Ha 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 ha. You are in Continental War.
Okay, it works. Oh, fire button's not working. So fire button's not making contact probably. I don't know why this one side's so tight. It's hitting. Got a loose wire. Okay, I just gotta tighten up the solder. God, it's loud. I gotta adjust that. All right, let's end this video. We have sound. It works. We'll get the high score saver free play in there tomorrow. Then we will wrap up the last few things, and this game will be complete. I'm gonna end this video, and then I think I'm going to work on the Popeye. I'll probably maybe I'll make a little video tonight and post that as well. So, all right, guys, if you like what you're seeing, please like, subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to send them, ask, whatever you like. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And I'm over 700 subscribers, which is awesome. I think I'm over 712 or something like that. So thanks to everybody who's subscribing and all the great comments and everything. I appreciate it. Other than that, I will see you guys later.